light.
Health class, that awkward rite of passage for most preteens and teenagers, where they learn about the virtues of good hygiene, the mechanics of sex, and the myriad changes their adolescent bodies are going through. For decades, the focus was mainly on students' physical wellness. But now many schools are taking a more holistic approach to these coming-of-age classes by highlighting the importance of mental health.
And being mentally healthy does not mean that we are happy all of the time. What it actually means is we're able to navigate the things that we go through in healthy ways, our challenges, our struggles, and our stresses, in ways that don't hurt ourselves or hurt others.
This is some of the most challenging times in a young person's life. It's important to give them the tools and resources to understand their mental health, but we know that they need to do that with support.
One of the resources that Principal Calcaterra has brought into Lafayette High School is Ending the Silence, a free presentation offered to schools all over the region by the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI St. Louis. NAMI St. Louis is a grassroots organization that provides support and education for not only people living with a mental health condition, but also their loved ones.
Ending the Silence is a presentation that's geared towards 5th through 12th graders to essentially combat common misconceptions about mental health. What it is not, what are the warning signs of a mental health condition. Sudden overwhelming fear for no reason. Now, this could be coupled with a racing heart, fast breathing, or physical discomfort. What might this be known as? Anxiety. Thank you. And then we kind of segue into talking about ways to start feeling better. So in addition to treatment options such as one-on-one therapy, group therapy, and medication, positive coping strategies are other ways that we can take really, really good care of our mental health.
NAMI St. Louis Director of Programs, Andrew Loiterstein, spent the first part of his career as a middle school teacher, then principal, and understands just how tough it can be to encourage kids to be open about mental health.
There's still a stigma around mental health and mental health conditions. Because of that stigma, they're not getting the help that we know can be so effective.
We really hone in on a real life example of someone that has navigated getting a mental health diagnosis and what success and what their life looks like now.
But I'd like to start my story back in 2014 when I was 19 years old and in college. And at the time, I was taking lots of classes and competing for money in a business competition. And I was really excited about the possibility of winning this money in this business competition that I started losing sleep. And my excitement grew into what's called mania. And mania is basically like when you have a lot of energy, but you can't really control that energy, and it's difficult to know what to do with it. And you also
all of NAMI programming is peer-led, so every single one of us, we have lived experience with a mental health condition with ourselves or with a family member.
After a number of days of not being able to fall asleep, it's easy for your mind to play tricks on you and to start making up stories in your head that aren't real. And so I slipped into what's called delusional thinking or psychosis. So I'm diagnosed with bipolar, have worked through experiences of mania and depression, and have found a lot of resources in community and friends and family and taking medication. And I find a lot of power in movement.
Ethan graduated with 2 degrees, traveled the world, and started a nonprofit called Dork Dancing that combines his love of movement and community with mental health advocacy. The events are fun, judgment-free opportunities for people of all ages and abilities to engage in dance and connect with others.
It's the simple things that can go really far, providing a safe place for you if you're struggling.
At the end of our presentation, we do what we call an immediate assistance form. And that's an opportunity for the students to share if they feel like they need extra support, they need to get connected with counseling. Their responses are 100% confidential, and we're not sharing it with anyone outside of our team and their counseling team at school.
Asking for help or telling someone isn't just telling a friend or a peer. It's really about reporting it to an adult that is trusted.
And that's what I love most about this presentation, is that it brings students to the surface that maybe otherwise wouldn't speak up. They can do that in that really discreet and safe way.
NAMI St. Louis is passionate about mental health resources being accessible to everyone, which is why they provide all of their services for free. This includes ending the silence presentations for school staff and parents. These sessions break down stigmas and help to demystify mental health diagnoses and treatment options in a supportive environment.
There's a natural fear of the unknown because there's so little education about what happens if. So what happens if there is a diagnosis of a mental health condition, and in actuality, there are great resources and great treatments.
But that's a scary thing for parents and caregivers to go through. And so we want to make sure that they also know we'll have those conversations not only with your children, but we'll have them with you.
It's okay to not be okay, and you're not alone.
Any way that we can lower the barriers for having that conversation, it's a step in the right direction.
For Living St. Louis, I'm Kara Vaninger.